Kirby, Ron Weiss,
Here.
Dave Purdue,
Here.
Lou Anna here, Renita Jones here, Tony Ball here.
Please stand and answer the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So hopefully. I don't know.
It came up and gave me the report. He's not gonna be here tonight, but Jimmy had indicated that he would be here, so maybe it's just.
He works days.
They probably have share stuff to do.
Okay, it's not possible, guys. Do we have any technology thing? You got a bit.
I do, it's on my quick part, but we can say it now.
Well, how are you going to do?
The website is live,
Right.
the new one is live, so if you see stuff that needs adjusted, let me know.
Good job. You've worked very hard on that.
Did we get
I still gotta update pictures. and stuff.
picture?
I have to do that still because there's an issue, but yeah.
Well, I like the section where you have links of the businesses in the area. You actually go to their site.
Yes, there was a couple of them that either didn't have one or they're updating it, so I couldn't put them on there, but. Otherwise, you can click on the business name and it'll take you to their either Facebook or webpage. Yeah, and then the POA, I put a link for the Lake Six POA on there, so it takes you straight to their page, they answer the questions from there. And I think what else, the meeting page for the agendas, it's kind of neat, 'cause you can click on the date, it'll give you the agenda like this. And then after the minutes are approved and the video is uploaded, there's links right on that same page for everything for that meeting.
Good job.
And
And if we had something like when we had, well, let's just say the LPR meeting, when we had that special meeting and they had given us documents, I can put those on there too, so people can go and look at the supporting documents.
Very good.
Pretty cool.
We've been busy with that. I know, 'cause I've been coming up there. Over there.
Was it not out or that or?
Thanks.
So,
Renita was a huge help too. She was going through the pages and looking at them for me to tell me what it looked like.
Well, you know, like executive secretary.
I do that.
Here, we got it out. We can, yeah.
Report of concerns, just put that on.
I know, right? But that, and then there's a notify me, so if people want to receive either the newsletters or the agendas or something electronically, they can put that in there and I can set up groups to send them out.
That's good.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's fantastic.
Okay, well, listen, I'm glad we had the sheriff show up, so we're doing much better now.
It's safer meeting now.
Gary?
Or.
Well, thank you for doing all that. It's been, I know you've been a busy person working on that and
Kind of fun.
so. All right. Anything else on technology that?
Did you want to approve the minutes? Oh, that.
No.
Okay, I will. You were so excited about the website.
Okay, we'll back up and look at the with that. So, anybody would like to browse and.
We've already read them. So I'll go ahead and make the motion that we accept the minutes.
Okay,
I will second.
and we have a motion and a second, all in favor? Motion passed, thank you.
Now,
Now we're back for that. Okay, Mr. Trudeau.
Oh, already. Okay. Well, for our August inspection department report. For 2024, we had 3,160 permit revenues. For this year, we had 4,535, so that's plus 1,375. Permit revenue year to date. Last year, we had 42,880. This year, we have 64,920. We're 22,040 over. Permits building permits process 2024, we have 13. This year we have 8. Number of permits year to date 81. Last year 77. This year. So inspections last year were 23. This year was 37. So we are up and over by 14,920 over
Budgeted for the
over
whole
the
year.
budgeted
For the whole year.
for the whole year, yes, for the whole year. So here we are in August, end of August, and that's what we have, 14,920 over budget. So, good year so far, lots of stuff going on. I have nothing for the fire department, street lights, I don't know what we got going on, but,
I bet you there's one out, but I don't remember which one.
okay,
I can drive you to it, but I don't know the whole number.
okay.
I'll get with Daniel there.
So then I will leave it to Jimmy to give us our, report for the sheriff's department.
I'm reading it for the first time that we know here, so. Basically, August was, one of the busiest months, which is normal for us this time of year. Deputies ended up, responding to 308 calls for service and taking 47 reports. Deputies made 89 traffic stops and issued 15 tickets. 4 of them were in fact village tickets, I guess. They worked 9 motor vehicle crashes. They responded to 35 alarm calls and they checked 232 businesses / residents. Deputies made 13 arrests, 6 of them were EWI related. And they also responded to several domestic assaults and 3 just normal assaults. You've got 2 different things listed. The big about which is deputies were involved in 2 vehicle pursuits this month. The first started on Highway 54, when Sergeant Easley was on his way towards Camden. He located Corvette driving at high rate speed. When he tried to stop it, the vehicle took off. Sergeant Easley followed the vehicle onto Highway 242 at speeds 139 miles an hour. Stopped at 139. Another deputy further up the road stopped all traffic at the intersection of Business 54 and HHMM, that whole area. Where that traffic got backed up and they were able to get the vehicle stopped in the traffic. They removed them from the vehicle and took them to jail. The driver was charged with DWI, resisting arrest, speeding, and speeding while driving. He's from Illinois. Apparently, we also got a call from where he lives up there. Apparently, he's a pain in the butt too.
Price and keep them. Right?
They're trying to, it's like, hey, what can you do to violate his bond conditions? You know, and stuff like that. So I just thought I'd throw that in there. The second pursuit, they definitely saw a vehicle parked on the walking trail near the lodge. When he turned around, that contact with the vehicle to check on it, it took off, almost striking another vehicle head on. But quickly, that vehicle was running up the turn lane. It straightened out Blackhawk Corner and crashed off into the trees there. Shortly after, the driver of the vehicle was removed from the vehicle. That had caught on fire. And Legal Fire Protection District arrived on scene and quickly extinguished the fire before it spread to any of the houses, that first house near intersection there. The driver was uncooperative and was later taken to the hospital. The driver was later taken to jail, charged with DWI prior, resisting arrest, night driving, and several other things. And then, of course, today is the start of the Bike Fest. So,
Well,
have a run down on last month's stuff.
busy. Well, just a couple things. Highway 242. I mean, I can get it cranking up pretty good on 242, 139 miles an hour. What kind of vehicle was he?
There's a Corvette.
That's not very fast for that car.
He's just heard things, right?
Yeah, and it looks like the deputies, they're not on strike or anything. They didn't do any miles. Let's see, there was no miles on the sheet here. 0, 0, 0.
Exactly.
That's all right.
I didn't even look at that report.
That's okay. No, that's not a problem. I'm sure they're out there because I see them all the time, so.
I'm gonna say, that's one of the report I had looked at.
Glad to have you here, out here watching all of this. Thank you, Jimmy.
I'm gonna say, hey, Bob guys, he had to take off, his mom having surgery up in St. Louis, so they, leave, he'll be up there with her for tomorrow's surgery, so.
Good place to be.
All right, well, awesome, thank you. Ron.
Renita and I went around to the gardens yesterday and she drew some maps and stuff to some different ideas for what we're gonna do as far as maybe getting more perennials and maybe changing over to some rock, so we don't have to buy mulch every year, so she's kind of getting that rounded up, and then we had the irrigation adjusted over here in the park. So hopefully that's getting better coverage now, so we don't have those dry spots in the grass, so that's all I had.
Well, I tell you, the gardens, unless I just noticed it more this year, are like going nuts.
Yeah, they were pretty good this
A
year.
little better than last year.
Yeah,
Fertilizer wouldn't have affected it yet this year, it'll be 2 years down the road, and you really see.
Well, it looks, okay, it looks very nice.
Well, Cherokee and Bittersweet are the best looking out of all,
yeah.
you know. it's
Some of the
annuals.
annuals are doing pretty a little better this year. You know, some of them still, I don't know, need maybe a little more fertilizer, but
Well, we're also looking at reducing some of the annuals, amount of annuals, the places where they put them.
and they are keeping the weeds down better too this year than having been the last couple of years, so.
All right, well, thanks, Ron. Any questions for Ron? Luann?
Okay, I'm learning a lot about sales tax.
You're our expert.
Oh, yeah, okay, first thing I want you to look at is the thing at the top that says, there's a spreadsheet I did that says village sales tax comparison for 23, 24, and 25. It's just that smaller one. I'll do that one first. Remember last month I said the sales tax went way up, it went up to like 44,000 compared to the previous years, and we actually, in a minute, I'll go over and we'll show that we actually caught up. But August went way down. And so I contacted the taxation division, well, I read all my reports, okay? And I'll talk about it with my next report, why it went down, but I found out that if a holiday falls on the end of the month, the merchants have an extra time in which to report that sales tax. And so it didn't go in August, but we'll have what'll happen is the September report, in some instances will have the August numbers in it.
Okay.
So hopefully it's gonna go up, so that's kind of a bad thing to kind of find out, but anyway, talking with them, that's what they told me. Now, the next sheet is real insightful. Okay,
I love this.
okay,
This is a great.
I created a spreadsheet that gives like what I consider a major account, and then there's a break point in, other accounts that, bill $300 a month or less, or close to that. Well, when I print out my report from because I pull up a report that shows me every penny that went in and who contributed to it. So I download it and I manipulate it and find out how much each individual merchant provided. Well, when I started inputting my numbers, the only two that reported out of 10 were the motor vehicle, which is the state report, and Seasons Convenience Store. And their revenue went up for August, up about $1,000 from or $500 from the previous month, and several $1,000s from all the earlier months. And then the motor vehicle was up higher again. It's only had 1 month that was 14,000, and this month it was 12,000. Those are the only two of our major accounts that reported, which was 15,000. Okay, out of the total of 26,000. Okay, then I looked at my smaller accounts that are just over around $200 a month building. Some of them go up, a peak and then through another or whatever. Well, all of those people reported, so that was a nice thing. But then all of a sudden, little Rizzo showed up on ours. Little Rizzo's is not in here, and the State Department is, or the Department of Revenue is trying to figure out why out of all these years it finally showed up this month. So there's the column across there that says all others combined, 5,400. 2,700 of that is Little Rizzo's, $2,787 is Little Rizzo's. So that's gonna somehow fall off whenever the Missouri figures out how it got on there to begin with, okay, because it's never been on any of the other reports. So it's kind of an interesting report, I'm glad I had it, so next month in September, I will make sure that all these people that are on major accounts, like the lodge, the office, those are the two biggest ones that have not reported this month, I'll make sure their revenues show up, and then Angels has not shown up yet. So I had to investigate that also. Well, they're on a quarterly system. They began their reporting in July. And this is really weird. They go July, August, September. So September 30th, they accumulate for 3 months. They report that in October. They have to have their revenues into Missouri by November, and the municipality will get it in December. So that is the schedule for that. So, I'll put it on my follow-up file. And I understand why they put them on a quarterly system, because we have businesses. They didn't know how much revenue they were gonna, be getting. And if you don't report an X amount of revenue, then you're on a quarterly system. Or as an employer with employees, when I had employees, I had to pay it monthly, but then when I didn't have as many employees, I only have to do it quarterly. So they'll start off quarterly, and I guess once they get a year's reading, then they'll determine if it's gonna be, if they will start submitting it monthly or keep it at quarterly. So that's the way that works.
Can I ask a question? Is it safe to say, based on the 2025 numbers, you're not that much less than 2024? I'm looking at this.
They are not, they're just $2,000 less at this point, but that's because of the building permit department that's helping. And I was trying to think of what else.
Well, you haven't got out of sales tax either.
Right.
I
Yeah,
would
so,
say it was pretty much even.
well, I won't know until I get September's report, and then I'll add the September, and then you can see, because in the past 2 years, September reports for sales tax. Well, in 2023 it was 50,000, and 2024 was 33,000. So hopefully we'll get back up to that 40,000 or something when the other people report.
So is it okay to say that year to date, we're kind of
We're just $2,000 less than last year, okay?
good?
I'll go to the regular ARPA reports. There's nothing really to report there, we'll talk about the progress of the buildings, but as far as the revenue, they're still sitting with the same number. Okay. Budget versus actual, okay? All right, we received more money than budgeted, okay, for this year. And that's because of the increases in, if you look across your building permits, interest, license income, and fuel tax, and motor vehicle sales tax has gone up. Okay, and then on this one, compared to the budget, sales tax is down, but that's based on what we projected we would have, each of the 12 months. Okay. On the next report, you'll see it look a little different. Then when you go to expenses, in the general fund, some expenses are up and some expenses are down. And the ones that went up were the expenses that, they're just up slightly over budget. So the total, if you look at the bottom line of expenses, we're up by $3,000 in expenses from what we originally budgeted. We're down on street and we're down on capital because we had already put in the budget for the pavilion. Okay, so those numbers are in here. So when you look at our total expense revenue, we're down like 41,000. That's the last column. And when you add the extra money in the income and reducing our expenses, we're looking at a net income of 87,358 based on what we budgeted. Now, when I get September's numbers, that's when I start pitching numbers for the amended budget and for the 2026 budget. I've got 3 full quarters of the thing. Okay, financial income and expense. Okay, that's when we compare last year to this year. The income bottom line is up in every fund compared to 2024. And for the first time on here, it shows us that the sales tax was up by $2,000. Okay. When that's at the end of August reporting. But in September, like I said, this number's gonna go down. So the total income, above income was $43,033.70 compared to last year, so that's a good number. But expenses are up from the previous year. Some of it's in the general fund, which is due to the IT improvements. Salaries and the GIS admin capability added, it was supposed to be billed in December and it fell over into January. Electricity and trash, all those wonderful things, and we haven't had a village voice in what, 18 months or 2 years, and this year we published it for the first time. Street fund expenses were down, capital was up. But that is because we did the pickleball courts, and we did the basketball courts, we've got the pavilion under construction. And for the last 3 years, none of our capital expenses have gone to capital expenses because it was all paid by ARPA funds. Okay, so that's, yeah, so we gotta look at it, if we used all those ARPA funds and apply it to the capital, we'd be way under. But just the way it falls year over year, we're in really good shape. Okay. Any questions?
Thank you for doing this sales tax.
Because it's confusing because of the fact that it flows over to the next month or it actually can flow over in the case of the quarterly. Sorry.
I'm sorry that you actually have someone to say that actually.
They've been great, yeah. Yeah, they just haven't gotten back to me on what it is, yet. Enjoy it when we have.
That's what they do.
Yeah, they'll take it back.
Hey, awesome. Okay, Rita.
Okay, the only thing I have a report on is for emergency management. The Camden County EMA director is no longer there. No, he didn't even make it a year.
He's part-time,
Huh?
he's part-time.
Oh, did he go part-time now? Okay. So we don't have a obviously a full-time one, and the county, from what I hear, but the county commissioners are thinking about just leaving that whole thing in part-time position. I, as a, emergency preparedness advocate and interest in having worked with CERT, in the years over the years, I personally feel I'll probably go to the county commission meeting that would be a whole kind of position. To have the county, our residents in the county more prepared and handling stuff more, because there's a lot of stuff involved with that. It's just not an easy thing to put together. So with that being said, I really think for our section of the world, where she's been, and what we're trying to be kind of more prepared in case something happens to help inform residents here, something could happen. And we should stay on our ability, stay on our goal of trying to have some things in place, knowledgeable stuff that, we won't be able to do a lot and, of course, first responders here, but anyway, that we can try to help residents on what you've been, because you want to step on that. And I happened to see, did you tell, was telling us last month that the guy, Paul, you picked up garbage? I saw a guy picking up some.
He's still here.
Okay.
I talked to him also.
Oh, did you talk to
He
him?
still owns his place here,
Okay,
and he's coming back and,
occasionally they do.
yeah.
I've noticed from like Duckhead up to the light, it's pretty bad right now, but.
Well, it was interesting because I was playing golf up at the ridge one day and the garbage truck went by, all kinds of flowers. Which was flying out as I watched it, yes. And I'm sitting there going, we don't have any fire anymore. That was before I got out, but here he was still down here every once in a while. Very dull. Yeah, okay.
And that's it for me.
Any questions for you? Okay, we'll move to unfinished business. Hopefully we can kind of go through this a little quickly. The pavilion. We all know we're in the process of doing that. We're building getting ready to start making some decisions. And I think these ladies have made a decision on the color of the GR would like to really buy.
Yes.
Yeah, did you?
That's my, Oh, no, I didn't see it. Oh, so what did you want outside?
I think there's. Yeah, Danielle made it, I think that of the three, this was probably the better because it was the most natural.
Oh, okay.
This one she has.
I'm doing on my own.
Yeah. And-
Oh,
They have,
Okay, I got it.
they have a proxy road.
We held it up next to the green plant over there to see what it looked like with the tree.
Good.
We just determined that you have three proxy votes.
Yeah, do we need to make a motion?
Oh, I don't know, do we need to make a motion?
I would think.
Yeah.
What's the number on the one you picked?
3565.
See it.
Pardon me?
Talk to her.
And this one, they have a green roof and then it'll have the black brackets holding the, what are they called, Dave? I forgot. Yeah, the black pieces, metal pieces that hold all everything together
You know, the braces, the joints.
for the trusses and joists.
Yeah.
They'll be black.
Okay.
The metal, whatever.
Yes, the girders are, gussets.
That's, okay.
Yeah.
They'll be black.
We're doing, what's it called, timber frame?
We call it that, yeah.
So it should look very nice.
Yeah. Great.
Okay,
Yeah.
any questions on that? Thank you for making that decision for us.
Did you guys get a note from, I asked him to give me an update to see when I'm gonna be here tonight.
Yes.
He's for the pavilion, that the plumber will be here on the week of the 22nd to install the outdoor water hydrant spigot.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's the next, I guess, thing that probably happens. Or is that what you were gonna talk about?
They've actually done it their side.
Okay,
Yeah, the water district came and packed into the main.
yes, put the bucket in.
Thanks, Ron. Okay, pickleball court parking area. I think you guys, we talked about trying to lay some gravel down in front of the area so that people who didn't want to walk down the hill could park right there and play pickleball. So we have a bid, it's in your packet, I believe.
Oh, is that number Cooper?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
and that's to lay gravel for a parking area in front of the fence to access
Because
the,
they've already got the culvert. Like up there.
yes, Kevin did all that for us.
Expensive at all.
No. So this one,
So,
yes. So whatever you guys think, if we wanna see, we're actually, I went ahead and sprayed the grass to get kind of rid of it. But it's, you can read what it is, it's got 4 things that's what I did. If anybody's okay with that, if one wants to make a motion, then we can.
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and accept this bid from Cooper and go ahead and finish out that parking.
I will second that.
Okay,
It sounds reasonable for the amount of lot that they're putting in.
perfect. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor? Motion passed. Thank you. Pedestrian trail handrail.
Okay. According to, Ike, that he's redrawn the details for the handrails. And they're not, I don't understand, it's pouring footing under them because of the back slopes on the trail. Okay.
Yeah.
So he said, I'll be dropping off the new measurements for the, handrails. So on the 10th, Wednesday the 10th, which is today,
Yep.
right? So that they can start fabricating the metal handrails.
He, I don't know if he dropped them off because he realized that he probably needed a new proposal from them since it was a year old.
Right.
But he did contact them, and I guess instead of pouring footings, they're gonna,
Put a point to it.
put a point to it, so they can just be
Put them
driven.
in the ground, okay,
Yeah.
all right, okay.
Okay, Trilling Park update.
Okay, he says that the dead trees have been removed. And the mulch will come out next week. And he said we may have to wait on the soft surface because. Oh, if the board decides to put something in place of the ship, we'll have to have that plan beforehand, before he puts the soft ground in. And from my standpoint, financially, if we want ARPA to pay for it, we've got to have it in by the end of the year, okay?
Are we putting
Paid.
soft mat in both of those
But
areas?
well, so we've already paid for the soft ground. What ARPA has agreed to pay is his installation of it. Okay, so that has to be paid for the end of the year,
And
unless they can extend, unless,
what he's saying is you don't want to put in new equipment
after the
afterwards.
soft
So-
service.
Yeah, we'd have to
Right.
cut out the soft service, yes.
Okay, so if we, because I don't know that we build another boat and put it in, do you?
No, I.
Yeah, because that's just a maintenance,
Yeah,
but we could probably buy, I don't even know what's there, I know there's some swings there, right?
Yeah.
couple swings.
Well, Ron and I were getting out there, and we were thinking that maybe one of those, or one or two of those little bouncy
Yeah.
springy things, or whatever's out there, something like that.
That we
or a-
have this part,
Yeah, or a slide, I don't know.
If we're getting right, wherever they
We
are.
could do this, we could do a motion to, like we've done in the past, approve not to spend more than $10,000, not that we need to spend that amount, but at least we get somebody from anyway to go ahead and get moving on this. If y'all would be open to that.
Yeah, I mean, again, what kind of happened out here too, we had the substructure that kind of went in, well, it was already in. But we took all of the horses off and all of
Right.
the circle things off and everything had to go off so that then we could do the soft service. So the same thing kind of applies here, we don't necessarily have to buy the horses and the merry-go-rounds or whatever, but we need to get the structure that goes underneath it. To pour the footings and then bring these things up out, so that then we can do the soft service around it.
Mhm.
And then put the horses on, the merry-go-rounds and whatever else, so I think the key is, you know, how many of these things we want.
Yes,
And, I mean, who's,
There's not much there right now, just a couple of swings.
right,
In the space that where the ship was, I mean, and I don't know what we all have back here besides the spring things. But I'd say, I mean, you could probably, if you had this, just the spring things, you could have three that'd be spaced apart evenly, or if you had two of those and whatever, I don't know what's out there, something else, is there something else?
What's
besides-
Oh,
I will tell you out
Yeah.
here,
Yeah, what's.
people are on the ship, kids are on the ship, people
Okay.
are, they're on the merry-go-round and they're on the climbing equipment.
Okay,
Sometimes you see them on the spring things,
okay, but no,
but mostly on the climbing stuff and the merry-go-round.
okay, well
Oh,
then maybe
maybe
put those two
merry-go-round,
things,
yeah.
yeah. Put
And
those
they
two-
have the like dome climb things too,
Yeah.
it's an option
Yeah.
instead of a ship.
So do we need to purchase that stuff to understand what the footprint is before you?
Probably.
Yeah,
Probably.
what I don't know, and we were talking earlier today, is how large this site is.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much room there really is, and then we just need to kind of lay out some,
Yeah, it's,
I mean, is it 50 by 50 or?
no, it's not that big, maybe,
But
I don't know, 20.
I know it doesn't take very long to eat up,
35, somewhere in
it
there.
doesn't take long to eat up money with children's equipment. $10,000, I don't think is gonna buy a donkey and a giraffe.
Well, I mean,
It goes
if you
fast.
just go with the, you can just go with forget the springy things, since they're not used that often. And just go with the merry-go-round or the climb thing, or do one of those two, whichever one, you know, if the space doesn't allow for both, just do one. One of them.
Probably should get a group together, go out and measure it, decide how many pieces of equipment we might be able to put in there,
Yeah.
and then.
Yeah.
You've got the prices, don't you, in catalogs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can get
Go online.
something, some ideas for you guys.
Yeah.
So the thing is, we are under a time
Right.
big time, because you can't pour that stuff when it's cold, I understand.
Well, I had said, again, that he kind of was thinking that it would be springtime before we'd be able to do that soft surface.
We gotta talk to Jeremy and see if he'll let us.
Well, I'm pretty sure that the guy told us that it's got about a year shelf life. before
That's
we have
right, yeah.
to use it, and so
Right.
I don't know that we should.
And I also was gonna check on that, it's, of course, you know,
Yeah.
we've all drank milk, I have, that maybe had an expiration date, it was like 2 weeks ago. And the milk was still good. Now, some people, it would be, yeah.
You know,
That beer is-
That's right, yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, expired beer.
you know what good milk tastes like.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what do y'all wanna do? I mean, we can,
I can run out there and measure it tomorrow,
Okay.
see what we got for space.
Okay, cause it may just be enough for, you know, like one
Yeah.
merry-go-round,
Yeah.
climbing thing,
Right.
and that's it, you know, but at least it gives them something to replace.
I'll run out, measure it.
Okay, and I'm sure most of those things, whatever you guys would decide to put up there, there's gonna be specs with it, so you'll be able to
Yeah.
figure out
Yeah.
what you need for the footings of it.
That's-
yeah.
So, okay,
Yeah,
yeah, give me
that
the
even
measurements and I'll
first.
get some ideas.
Yeah.
All right, so we won't do any money motions tonight, Ron, that'd be great if you can do that. And then I think it's a great point too, that we can just look at the mounting specs.
Mhm.
The, I don't know, you mentioned the trees. But there's like 3 trees that are marked out there, I assume they're gonna be cut.
Well, he said the dead trees have been removed.
Well,
Only
these
3.
aren't quite
There's
dead.
little- They're only, they're those little ones, I mean, they're tall.
Cooper's coming back to cut
Is
this
he
stuff.
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're marked, so.
Oh, okay.
So on the ARPA money and the soft ground, material. So does the ground material have to be in by the end of the year installed, or do we?
Well, see what it,
Have this-
the way it was agreed upon, we thought there was extra when we did this part. Okay, so the materials have already been paid for.
Correct.
What Joni told us was, we could do it similar to what we did, with the restrooms, where we keep track of Ike and whoever's time, and that can be charged to ARPA.
Okay.
Okay, because the materials are already here, right, okay, and we can't really fit it, but we just have a budget there of how much to be spent,
Right,
okay?
gotcha.
So that's where we're sitting, that's why I said, well, we'll talk to Joni, because I know there's a little bit of a carryover for something, because it had to be budgeted to be spent this year.
Yeah.
But
Remind us again, what would we budget to spend for?
his labor,
What about the incidental things, like he'll have to get, like a cement spinner and that kind of
yeah,
stuff?
that, I don't know, but it is
Okay.
anything
that'll be
associated with the
Something to ask
installation,
her about.
yes.
Yeah, gotcha.
But so there's a money, oh, you're gonna check with Joey to see about if the money has to be spent by the.
Whether it just had to be budgeted for this year, you know, because we did budget it.
Right.
Okay, and then, but that's why I kept saying, we gotta get it done, we gotta get it done, and then, but I'll check with Joni.
Well, a lot of times the weather's pretty good through November.
Yeah.
Okay, are we good? We know what we're doing here. Rod's gonna look at that.
You know,
Thanks.
just real quickly, we do own that lot, true? I mean,
Yeah.
there was this person that gave the lot
That's what
That's not
it
right.
is.
to us, right? And I assume it's part of another lot that goes down the lake, or did he cut this thing off, or I.
It's part, it goes this little lot that the park is on, it goes down to the lake, but it's like this way. Yeah,
so it's just-
Okay.
and it belongs to the village. When I was doing
Okay.
GIS for flower beds, popped it up and I went and saw who all.
Right,
all the
Right,
lots.
okay, I know, well, that would be, all of a sudden I saw Todd over there and I thought, you know, that'd be something that he'd be like, we're gonna come in here. Do we own this industry so far?
So Rod's gonna look at it, and we'll pull out,
Yeah.
make a decision on that, get the specs. Are we going to try to get some soft material in this year?
I would think if you had a deadline every year.
I
He
can't
said,
say what they had done, Ike said, that, you know.
yeah,
he
he
thought
just
that
says,
was gonna be
see what
pushed.
the board, you know,
Yeah,
But it's not-
Because of the footing, because of the way.
yeah,
but
it's 2 months.
if we don't get it done, and Joan says we can't get it done, then we have to pay for it, capital.
Well, the only
Instead
thing
of
that
money
might
back,
be left
do
to
what,
pay for.
20,000.
Well, I mean, but the only thing that may be left, we have the material. If we buy the toys. Get the footings in and whatever else, yes, there'll be some installation possibly after the soft, but there's going to be the labor to put down the soft mat and whatever else. I mean, if that was some of the only things that we had to do. And then put the toys together and put them on the stands that we've already done this year. I mean, yeah, but I mean, we can only do what can happen.
Well, we could purchase the toys,
Yes.
okay, ahead of time, pay for
Right.
those.
Yeah.
And pay for the demolition of it, okay, the stuff that's coming out.
And the mulch,
That's kind of been done, I thought, a little
just
bit.
the mulch has to be removed.
Right. So-
Did she change the allocation on it at this point?
I don't know, I talked to her,
Yeah,
yeah, because this was, you know, I had to have it in the budget or we had to send the money back.
yeah.
So we put that in the budget to wipe out anything that was left in ARPA,
So
which was $20,000.
let's say by next meeting, we should be in a situation to free some money and know more about what we're gonna do. Is that fair?
I think so.
Okay. Thank you. Asphalt RFP for district tracks.
I don't know, I think Dave was gonna check that.
You know, yes, I and. What the name, never got back with me on that.
Well, today, what was it, Willow Ridge asphalt day is due in Bear Creek.
And that's, I think that's him. I believe,
I'm gonna read there, because they closed all the golf course and the restaurant yesterday and got about half of it done, and then they're marking it off today, the
Yeah.
exact half that they got
I'm
done.
sure that's it.
Okay, that's because they were there, and then the other one was Main Street, somebody had recommended.
But I did walk this path,
Mhm.
and just from here to back, it's pretty bad shape, there's some cracks there.
Mhm.
Gaps that are very good.
Yeah,
And we all know why we want to hurry to get this based on, insurance suggestion.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. Anything else? Park maintenance. I don't think anything they've done there other than what Ron said. The water get adjusted. Anybody have any questions on that?
no, that makes part maintenance, that the stuff you had suggested last.
Correct.
Signs, the painting of the yellow and.
Yeah, and I think we're waiting on signs until we get the pavilion up and then we can spend all.
I talked about that, but I was gonna do some other checking on getting these signs fixed, and then, I got distracted because our site people weren't there anymore, so I had to pivot and got squirreled at that point, so I didn't.
And remind me, back on this pavilion, we were gonna wait to order the tables and all that.
Till next year. Yeah.
Sign ordinance.
I have in, did you have a copy of? Sideboard that I did in that time
Oh, thank you.
last month, and just for a quick thing, cause. Todd's still working on the fourth and definitely for the road section, that's all. But Luann responded back, give me some feedback, and so the copy you had is one that shows her questions and area for her questions, and so I thought maybe we just hit on those key ones that we can maybe make a definite decision right now, you know, to see another couple.
Okay, I'm gonna
Go ahead.
ask, so, did you recommend that maybe we make this a little less complex?
I think it's right there.
I think it is too. I mean, look at all the questions I put in here.
It is bad, it always has been.
I'm gonna grab.
Yeah.
I would suggest just grab it. Right.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
because in this.
It is, it's been a pain.
Well,
There's so many
Because
just.
when we consider food trucks now. With the signage, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And then new types of signs like the gutters and signs, those were never even invented in this, written in 84.
well, that's why I thought some of these you may have an idea, we have, if you want, like on page one, where we have down at the bottom. About the yard sale sign, about
3 days now.
yeah, and so that's some places we have to feel, we should kind of accommodate with their days, so I think that we'd all approve on that. Because for yard sign, you know,
And
the
then
what
what's
sign.
public service price sign.
Well, that and the public service sign on number 12 on the second page. I think the public service sign may be something like speed signs or those kind of signs that say. Or address the public, you know, I think, I don't know, but that, yeah,
Public service price sign.
I don't know
That
that.
would be, yeah.
Then, on the real estate sign. Because the POA has their, Four Seasons POA has their green signs for sale signs, and that's regardless of the motorcycle or house or whatever. They have that, but I think this on number, page 2, number 9 at the top there. I think some of those are probably more of those temporary signs that are put out sometimes for, on the times they're being, houses being sold. So I'm saying because, you know,
Yeah, I mean, that's.
page,
Do you want to go through this here, or we can only just say?
Redrafted.
Yeah.
redraft, and then we'll go back and look at it, and then we can talk about feather signs or.
Right, and
Better,
then
better.
the copy, we'll see. if
Okay.
notes in here.
Yeah, I think you got it.
I think you can read, it was just my scribbling.
Yeah, you can do it.
Because I think there's some really good notes in here.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, that
So,
sounds
Is
good.
that fair?
Yep, okay, that's fine.
Mhm.
I'll do with that.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I think we can all understand, and so can everybody else.
Okay, decimal meter. We can have a conversation, do you wanna?
It is here, it is tagged, it is in my office, I talked to Abe about it when he brought up the sheriff's report. And he said he'd stop in tomorrow, to talk about what we decide where it's gonna be, all of that stuff. He also said he was gonna reach out to your IT So you could get the license code installed on your system, so that way you can stuff, because I also have that in my office. But I know about
Okay. You guys, okay? Have that downstairs, I guess.
I'll just have to learn how to use it.
it. There's a book.
Tell me,
It's not.
tell me,
Which
test,
is worse, because then it's, what does it mean? Yeah.
tell me, you tested it and you.
I did, when Brenda and myself and Ike were here, Ike was not in my office and I turned it on and it was going crazy, so I requested earplugs.
Yes. Please.
That was a good test. Good
Seems
old
to
boy.
work, yeah.
Okay, on one more item, commercial facade ordinance.
Commercial facade, yes, Ike and I have talked about that. Ike is working or looking into different cities. Throughout the state and whatever else, it's so that maybe we could try to piggyback one of theirs and kind of work through with that, hopefully kind of echo something there, so we can kind of. Get ahead of the facades for the commercial, other businesses that are gonna start, that will be starting up sometime here, so.
Well, that you have, that already drafted the plan is.
Say again, Todd?
I'm not already drafted for you, it's a compilation of what to do, for instance.
Okay.
So,
That's, no, that's, yeah, yes, yeah, we're trying not to make it just so terribly stringent, but it's, yeah. So,
Okay.
that's where we are.
Thank you. On the new business, you guys have a fireworks ordinance there. Our attorney graciously spent some time to put together. While our legal right, we were a little concerned if there wasn't really specific language in there that's gonna become not allowed, not every between the lines, and then come up with two answers, but. Are we ready to do something with this, or do y'all need more time, or? Question I have times, and tell me, because I'm ignorant, do we ever get these guys to look at this and just make sure they can enforce it, or?
No, I mean, in a perfect world, you guys would have a consent committee, we rattle this together, and then the only thing that would be here would be the final product, and bring up some managers. I'm happy to do that, let's sign up, commit her to. Speak with them, law enforcement.
I just didn't know if we ever did that, just to see if the force of war there. So would anybody like to, work with Don on the fireworks ordinance?
Yeah, I sent a reply back to the email, asking him to question about that cockroach, and, you know, that's kind of, it's some kind of complex, maybe find, they wanna do fireworks.
And I would be happy to review after you get to the point and just kind of do that as well, you know, be part of that, so. Are you okay?
And, yeah, cause also my big question was too about the local fire, like those are fire department knows about their involvement in the. About prior fireworks, they didn't have them doing any checking, approving the site of the fire. You know, fireworks, you know, so only because of the past experience of them not knowing about the dog inspection that they're taking over.
Would it be fair to see if we could have this by the next meeting, or try to do push it out, or what do you think? And we've got a lot of time here, but what do you think?
Oh, that's pretty good. You're in fireworks until
We got time.
New Year's, so, we've got time, but, happy to go with some answers.
Well, I think we need to go, boom.
No, it looks.
It looked pretty good.
It looks real, that looked real good. Yeah. I mean, you could always find holes in it someplace, but I mean.
Well, I think if you read it,
I don't see any, but.
I didn't either, I think if you read it twice, you'll find two things, if you read it 3 times, you'll find 3 times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it looked good, covered.
That's the one thing that I saw, which is on the next item, is how much the permit and fee, and then, since 4 seasons in the past has always done fireworks, we need to let them know that they don't have to start paying for that, because it's not the grounds anymore.
Yeah, I kind of figured out when this was all done, we would certify the business, and maybe. I sort of.
I'm gonna ask the question, are we ready to go ahead and make a motion to approve what we have?
Well,
I would
let's
say
say
to
it's
the
condos, yeah, because condos isn't addressed in here, I think those should be addressed if there's ever any possible future.
And then we need the fees in there.
Yeah, we need.
Well, the fees,
Oh, no, not the permit.
Not the-
Yeah,
Fines.
The miscellaneous fee, yes, but not the permit.
Well, the fines are just gonna be, they're,
Yeah.
fees.
Well, I had one question, how I think for me, so I would look at it. What I saw there, I don't have any more feedback on. So you guys look at that and then try to. Report it.
okay,
That was
And then what do we need to talk about, permit fees?
when they apply for a permit to have fireworks, we don't have an amount for that, like $125.
Oh, yeah, it's in the resolution. Isn't that the resolution, right there? $100 per.
So drafted bill, drafted application, and drafted a resolution, so you.
Yes.
Okay.
It looks like $100.
Yeah.
Reason you don't have dollar amount bill or whatever.
Oh, we can change. Okay.
Through the other resolutions, we did that on a regular basis, so.
mhm, right,
Well, sounds like we got all the things we need.
Pretty much, all, yeah.
Oh, here it is.
I have a question, a quick question. I didn't understand this until, I looked further into it, because on the email you had put fireworks bill, I think a bill, because I never had heard that used. Because what is ordinances, so then I found out. So even if we have an ordinance that, like this, we're changing our fireworks ordinance, so it would still be called a bill until we vote on the changes to make it an ordinance. Okay, I just wanted to make sure, so I know kind of, when I see the word again, I'll.
Again, I looked at all this and was really good.
Yeah, I think it looks good too.
I don't know what, we'll look at that once and all this other stuff. We're actually going to. Okay, any more questions on that? Okay, next one is lot purchase. I think if you know, we had a last minute fire sale on the lot down the street here. I've still been trying to figure out if that lot was purchased. Don't have that back from James going yet, so he said sometimes that can take 20 days before it says, yes, it's all there and the person is valid and they paid their amount and yes, it's actually been bought. But when you look at that lot, I think it had a back tax from county tax of about 3,700. And then about 13,000 or so for the POA, that lot. I think we do have some interest in this, that it adds another lot to this section of lots down towards.
I'm gonna attach it
Okay.
to the garden.
Yes, it's between the garden and the house that's there. We own the one on the end, and we own two up to the house. So if we ever wanted to do something to have all that property for whatever reason, we would have that opportunity to go all the way to the street, and then maybe one day that come up and we could actually buy that guy out of the house. So we need to be in a position when this comes up that we have approval to someone to act as a purchaser to go to these sales. I don't know if you want to weigh in here on this, but I don't know if we can position it so that we can be ready for when something like this happens.
I think your tax, so it was closed,
Yeah.
so, county, that has now. Find the accommodation procedures for the homeowners.
doesn't the homeowner that originally owned it, the lot owner that originally owned it, after somebody would buy it, or propose to buy it, they have 30, 60 days or something?
3 years.
3 years, like 1 year, oh my god.
At least it could be.
So, so a lot of people explain that on taxing, so they'll just go ahead and bid on something, but they get interest on the money as it sits there, so it's actually an investment. A lot of them, because it rather than have $100,000 sitting in some accounts, where they take 100 stream it on 6 or 7 lots, they can return on this. And if the person pays the taxes. It's the property. Otherwise, it becomes something cheaper.
What sort of percent do they put on?
But isn't there one that goes sometimes like 90 days or something? That's crazy. Some quick redemption.
Something Chinese that introduced, you know, that, who's actually what, that playing it back.
So is there a way we can position ourselves if something happens? You know, we can identify, one of us and say that they were the tenant sale.
The government back, so-called standing committee, such as you can find ad hoc committee, of these people or anybody else, be prepared to inform this panel of any comments like that. You can go up to $10,000.
I'd like to just make quick, I don't want to be a part of the committee, but I don't know if they can. The finance, if you guys just want to weigh in when this comes up, or who else, but I said 2 or 3 of us just kind of be there.
Yeah, how often do they have the courthouse? And, okay, so it should, so we just need to, and how early do we find out what's going to be on it? Do we have 90 days or less? But that's how we found it, was because I was looking at it.
They actually go to the GIS map, they'll circle all over the grids, you can see what, there are actually 2 waterfront properties out of that. But you have the opportunity to buy any of them around there.
Then, in old fashioned newspapers, like earlier, they actually have, at least 2 or 3 times, the whole list of all things.
That's what started it. We were looking at the paper and he saw listed in there and then went to GIS.
So, but
Well, yeah, I said we can get.
Cole County does that, we have about 30 properties in Cole County that go into that tax, you guys have 300. So the way they do it out here is more sophisticated, more informative than that was. I had to go back into all the properties in Cole County, parcel number, the address, GIS map, and see where.
Because we primarily would just be interested in properties that are on vibrant here, so you know what their parcel number would be.
the GIS is out there.
It's just,
Keep in mind throughout calendar year, folks.
Yes, well, that's where I'm going with this. We're gonna go back to donating and say.
Status.
Sell it to us, or whatever. They can do that. So I was going to get this, a group to say you're authorized to go in and be the buying agent for. That piece of property, and like Todd said, not anything more than $10,000. So are you guys okay with setting that?
So if that property did not sell, nobody bought it or anything, then again, Camden County, we could go to Camden County and say, hey, what,
No.
it's gotta go again.
The private party still owns it unless the county wants to do a accommodation for lack of paying on titles, which they should have done years ago. On a variety of properties, that's why you guys in the road district are short revenue funds, because there are people that just don't pay their property taxes.
Well, they did have those 3 lots now, which are lots and stuff.
Until unless the county prosecutes those unpaid taxes, they're just gonna pay.
Could we go to the lot owner as a village, say, hey, we're interested, we're.
You can't, the taxes would run with the land, you'd have to, I wouldn't buy it unless you had an agreement that the bought contingent upon the away.
Oh, yeah.
Expenses.
Roger.
Maybe Roger wants to buy it.
The problem there is the POA. What are they doing? Because the lot owner, except whatever, you can offer the lot owner anything, he's got it. And, but the POA fees, what's the POA's position these days?
The words they told us, which is not in writing, that if there's a lot sold at auction, they waive the POA fee.
Well,
That's what I found that.
go to the lot owner. They don't want it.
There are really several second, third tier lots.
Offer them $1,000 and you own it.
I think the only thing we probably have to pay is taxes from the county.
And what about the water company on all those accessibility fees, water fees that you guys charge people who are undeveloped lots? Do you waive those, or is that kind of depending on it?
It doesn't make financial success to pursue.
But then,
But do you have a power of condemnation? Eminent domain?
We do, but our fine schedule is not onerous enough to probably warrant.
No, just go to the lot owner.
So
with that, are you guys okay with identifying 2 or 3 of us? That are the agents to actually move forward with some opportunities, either going to the plot owner or going to the county and seeing if there's something that we can do with this.
Good consideration, other than their, buying costs, is you need to check whether or re-subdividing or repurposing that property.
Yeah.
Right, leadership, or they've got all of these, the vast majority of residential.
And we probably do.
Well, they, I don't know if they file liens, but, and how, POA is on filing liens for their, expenses. I'm sure they.
We can find that out by the, search. There's whatever. All right.
That'd be the last part, make sure that you can do with it what you want to do with it.
Yeah, you need to have a plan.
Probably waive it.
So we may not do anything, but at least we're set if we end up doing it. So anybody want to make a motion to do that? And to identify 2 or 3 of us to be the purchasing agent.
You know, that's your administrative responsibility to. Yeah.
So are you?
I can help, yeah, as long as it's not the next month or 2.
No.
Okay.
And so for them,
So we'll point myself, David, the man, and let's run. Meeting on.
I would put that, so you don't need a motion to do so, but I would put that in mode. Chief, whatever that, for the purpose of exploring.
Todd, I'm having a really hard time hearing you. Are you saying ad hoc?
AD, second word, agency, ad hoc.
Perfect, thank you.
The standing committee is a committee that's required, finance, parks, recs, all that stuff, and ad hoc is just something to call in to address a temporary or important topic. Well, he has that at his ability to do that. Just about any time.
Thanks, Tom. 2024 IBC IRC adoption.
I can talk about this. They are the code enforcers. They are adopting the 2024 coming January. But it has to be on the agenda like 90 days before that. That's why it's on here.
Oh, okay.
That's all it is.
It's what they use for their building.
Yeah.
Building code.
And same with, on the next page, the INEC adoption, same thing, it has to be on the agenda before they move forward with it, but at some point, I said not at this meeting, at another meeting. He'll talk about, we need to purchase those books.
Okay, so we know what we need to.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Golf cart discussion. Everybody's okay. We got a couple of people I think are here to talk about that. And if I think the board's okay, we just open the board now for that discussion with these people.
I'll see where you guys stand first.
I know I'm personally against it.
Well, and what I read, and you pulled up a lot of information that if we don't have an ordinance for it, which we don't, the state law says that they're illegal. And the federal has their law, the state has their law. Our roads are owned by the Camden County Road, Camden County, and maintains the Horseshoe Bend Road District. And I talked to one of the board members there, and they said, nope, no golf carts on the road, no golf carts on the golf course.
you said that.
So that's why I wanted you guys to.
One of the.
My knees were about to can't stand, but go out and do the budget first.
I think you guys don't know, I'm 31 years ago, I put together a deal by a water company. And I'm no longer the president after 31 years, I'm vice president, so I can play.
No.
Congratulations.
I'm really bad for golf carts, I agree with all my good friends here tonight. I think we should have an ordinance, I'm somewhat an expert, because I spent 20 minutes on AI before I got here, so. There's cities that have them, almost all progressive cities have them now, Branson, Lake Ozark, Osage Beach, Webster Groves, Cameron, St. Charles, all the communities around. The thing is, the ordinance has to be written right. The ordinance has got the state allows for it. You got a speed limit 20 miles an hour. You got the state says you gotta have all the safety equipment the car would have. They don't weigh that much less than a smart car or 1 mile little Izettas like do. They weigh less than a golf cart. So with the proper equipment, turn signals, all the right lights and everything. But at this point, I might ask a couple of questions. How many incidents have you had involving a golf cart that led to prosecution?
One,
I don't say, we've had several accidents.
yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, I think you should take a look at it. If you choose to do an ordinance, which I personally, I like anything on four wheels, so. I have tried some of this stuff, but
And more.
but you have, the statutes that are out there now talk, or the ordinances talk about things like the primary streets, like Ozark, has an ordinance. Secondary streets, there's different designation within help, but no more than me, but, the small streets like the cul-de-sac, somebody wants to go and get their mail. There's absolutely no reason somebody, seniors like me shouldn't be able to go get their mail on their own. Now, HH, no.
Yeah.
Cherokee, maybe it's a time of year. There's several things you can do. For one thing, the state ordinance says you gotta be 16 years old. And I don't know the incidents you've had, or they've been anybody over 16.
I've had them younger than 16 and I've had them older than you.
It's already in that category. Did they do the prosecution?
I mean, we didn't write no tickets if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have an ordinance, then you'll have an exact something to stand on. For one thing, you can charge for the permits. It's a money raiser, write the ordinance pretty tight, right, the speed limit 15 miles an hour. Right, only the cul-de-sac streets, I mean, I'm just throwing out some ideas. If you choose to do it, which personally, I hope I don't get caught driving up to my cul-de-sac. From my cul-de-sac to get my mail, but if a properly written ordinance, they're doing it everywhere. I go to Arizona a lot and in Florida, and golf carts are everywhere. They can be a safer option. Seniors like me are probably better off, in a golf cart than a car. But anyway, if you consider the ordinance, there's a whole lot on AI. I was shocked at what's out there. Basically on AI, there's a ton of stuff. You can look at the ordinances for other cities. If you decide to do one, I'd be happy to work with an ad hoc committee if Dave or somebody wants to work to maybe come up with a restricted ordinance. You don't want golf carts running up and down Cherokee, and up and down HH, but personally, I think there's a place for them. And as there's more and more seniors, they're kind of a good thing for them. In Arizona, they've got particular paths for them. Anyway, that's all I have to say. So whatever you decide to do, and don't be mad at me for it. I like it. I don't trust myself.
Roger, don't you get something on four wheels that also floats?
He does?
Yeah.
I can't stand up there and talk. I was here today. In the 12 Parker Point. And to be honest, I was gonna buy a place over in Campton. I said, I could get a place over there, but they got golf carts over there. I moved over here, I thought you could have golf carts over here too, to be honest with you, because like those aren't good. And so we moved there, I was kind of surprised. I called, I think I talked to her, I think, said you can't, but I see golf carts all the time around these streets. I mean, there's that pool right over by our house. I went every day over there swimming, there's a golf cart there almost every day. Got someone driving one, I mean,
They're all illegal too.
what's that?
They're illegal.
Well, I understand that, they're still out there, you guys ain't nothing about it.
That's not a
I don't mean to be that way, but I mean, I work it, to me, it don't seem fair because all the other people are doing it. And I wanna do it too, I wanna,
You may speed, I may not catch you.
I'm
I
sick.
catch Roger.
That's okay.
He chased me one time, and he couldn't catch me, but his dog did.
Yeah. But,
Well, there can be lots of restrictions on it. We're in a unique community, there's certain times of year there's no labor. And there's no reason not to go run, on some of these back streets, some of the streets like, Case Point, some of the places like that. You should be able to use one, in my opinion, with an ordinance, a speed limit, and then you've got something to prosecute. If you've got an ordinance and for somebody 15-year-old, that's probably where your problems are gonna be, kids doing it. And you've got to have a driver's license, according to the cities that have one, it's already been written,
So Roger, where's the side by side stuff come into play versus golf carts?
What's
like
that?
side by sides and other four wheel.
ATVs, right?
Yeah, and there's, yeah, it's not a simple issue. There's the side by sides, things like that, but, you know, they're basically the same as a car. Some of them weigh 1,500 pounds. They've gotta have turn signals, they've gotta have headlights, tail lights, and it's not really different than a car.
Gotta have a horn.
A horn.
Well, and
And
like
if
those
you guys
guys,
write the ordinance, I charge $100 for the sticker. It's pretty simple to have somebody come in, spend 10 minutes or 20 minutes and say, here's my inspection, I've got a horn, I've got turn signals, here's your $100, I want a sticker on there. Then if they don't have a sticker, Lieutenant Elkins can spot them and book them.
Some of them
I
sign.
don't like it. Looking at it.
It'd be kind of nice to have a golf cart, just go around and visit with neighbors. There's that 5 acre lake right down the street from our house, where you can drive down there and enjoy the day, or
Yeah.
go to the pool, that's what I look for.
Any more discussion?
I'll say something. Someone goes to the dog park on a golf cart. She called Camden County and they told her it was okay. Just drive safely, if cars are wanting to go past you, pull over to the side and let them go past.
I'd like to know who she talked to, because that's wrong.
She called the commissioner's office.
Or the commissioner's office? I'll have to chat over there.
But they're telling people it's okay.
Some of those side by sides are as big as small pickups.
Oh,
I see them going up down a dam all the time, every time I go up there.
well, you can get a permit. You
Yeah.
can get a permit in Lake Ozark to have one, and it doesn't have to have turning signals on it, doesn't, it maybe has to have a horn on it, like you said. Headlights, yes.
If it doesn't have a horn, you have to use your hand signal, or turn signals, you have to use hand signals.
Okay. But I know they do have that, and it's inexpensive.
Okay, any other discussion from the?
This has come up twice at least.
We need to do.
Yeah, and to have an ordinance in the hand, ready to go whenever you're ready. Draft it, so like, you got a draft of a golf cart ordinance, you've got another one for UTVs, electric vehicles. Jim's, I don't have Jim electric vehicles, obviously, you got that in the can, you got the golf cart in the can, so if you guys choose to go that route. The irony is, I'm a somewhat proponent of it because it's a revenue source, I think it'd be a very attractive feature for a retirement community.
Well,
the irony is they can drive on HH for 242, as long as they got a triangle, a flag, lights, horn, and turn signals. That's what the brochure reads for the state of Missouri. So they can do it on this road out here, it'll be drive like maniacs.
Well, 31, I can only be 3 miles from your house. There's different.
My understanding is all state monitored roads, you can travel on a state road, so long as it's, that you have that function.
Now, there's some of, because we've got 3 mile radius.
well, I think it's
But
playing.
Luann's correct, in order to have the private road, as secondary roads that are by the county, you have to have this place, otherwise the presumption is it's not.
So there's a draft.
All the construction vehicles running around, those guys use them all the time, so we can either just look the other way. With the guys that seem to be okay, or do an ordinance that's very restrictive, and then we've got something, an exact black or white, you can do this, you can't do that.
I personally rather see people on golf carts than those 2-wheel burners that they read all over the place.
Oh, good.
That are killing people and causing,
Well, I do want to add one thing here. We are in the niche organization that looks at counties and schools and rates the schools, rates the counties. We are rated 4th in the state of Missouri for retirements.
Yeah.
The only thing concern I have about allowing them is the safety to whether it's the golf cart or UTV or ATV or whatever, them driving, their safety, and the people driving on the roads like me, and I'm driving. Hi, I'm and I come around a curve and there's one of the 8 golf carts, whatever, who's not going very fast, and I run into them. So for my safety and the golf carts, that's where my concern is you know, in allowing because of the winding roads and stuff, I just. And one of our missions in all the ordinances sometimes read, the first things on top will say that we're here to take care of the safety, health, whatever of our community. So I like the idea in places where communities are, don't have regular traffic speeds out there and not winding roads. I mean, that's just. My, I just fear for the people's safety on either side of the thing.
And when I was reading, it said that they can't be loosed on roads that are posted 45 miles an hour. The dog cart can't go over 20. But like in my subdivision, what are we, 20 or 25?
20.
We are 20?
Yeah,
Okay.
we changed that just recently
Yeah.
from 25 to 20.
So our whole subdivision is only.
We had more golf carts on the road over Labor Day weekend, we had cars.
Well, and I have somebody that lives in my neighborhood, that's a loop. That I'll occasionally see them in their. UTVs or whatever, take their little loop around. Hey, you know, because they're staying in that area, even though it's not outside, okay, well, if you wanna take your life in your hand, go for it.
Well, are they written, again, it's kind of, there's kind of three different things. The golf cart, UTV and an ATV. And what draftings that you have done, Todd, they can't all, they're not really lumped together, or are they?
I'm more concerned about motor size and speed. Than the character of the is.
Okay.
So that's what I've seen with all I've since I wrote the thing for years.
So do we have a copy of that?
I think what I do is just go get for,
Oh, here.
create an ad hoc committee. People,
He can show us what he's got.
Yeah,
Read it first.
yeah, we just take a look at it, people make comments, bring it back to this group.
And just like your speed limits, there may be a happy medium, you know, prohibited on bittersweet.
Right. Like cul-de-sac.
Which, Joe, one last question on, it's kind of a related thing. What did we ever do with e-bikes on the path? So again, there's not supposed to be, and I'm not going mad about this, I'm just saying. The way it's wrote, if there isn't supposed to be any e-bikes on the motor pedestrian.
No motorized
Is that a
vehicles,
true statement or?
but, there was a whole bunch of signs that were on path that said no motorized vehicles. The village has taken it down. Or has rejected.
I remember a service we got, I spent about 6 months tracking.
I remember.
And then it just died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the can as well, that bill's ready to go whenever you want to.
Good.
A lot of, at the time, of course, e-bikes and things have changed since.
Oh, yeah.
5 years ago, but at the time, there was a speed limit and they had to have certain equipment, they couldn't be on the long, they could be on secondary roads and private roads, but they couldn't be on. Private roads. And again, just saw that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that worked.
I would like to focus on the golf cart. I mean, I know with e-bikes, all that, but I think we need to do kind of what we did with the ordinance on the fireworks.
If you ever get a chance, YouTube the villages and see what they do with golf carts down there. It's.
Oh, yeah.
it's-
Yeah.
Huge, some of the villages to be able to suit all those stuff.
I mean, I'm just gonna say, there's. Things are happening. For senior citizens, for people to. To do things, and I know that there's probably some people in the board that may not think, might be black and white, don't do it, or I don't know. But I think we should start like what we can say, we got. To look at the fireworks, let's roll that out, let's 2 or 3 of us. Come back to the board with their thoughts on that ordinance, is that fair? Does anybody want to raise their hand?
And to Roger's point, I'm not trying to pick on law enforcement, certainly, because they've got enough headaches, but to Roger's point, I mean, almost every community around.
Well,
I would say beach.
We don't have to be like every community either.
But yeah, I just think it's.
I don't have a problem with Roger driving his golf cart on for Cynthia.
Yeah.
You've got 5 houses down his road, go up to the mailbox, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think maybe a committee.
But I don't-
Maybe.
But I don't like it on Wind Creek, Case Point, any of the bigger ones. I don't even like it on Cornet Branch. Because that's a healthy travel road too.
Which of these?
Yeah.
Which of these board members would like to raise their hand?
Is there a classification for
The
things
ask
like
is-
that? I know there's state highways.
Hold the orders.
That's easy, but what about,
Do a review.
Cherokee? What kind of
See
thing
what
is
it
that?
says.
Is that
Make a recommendation and come back to the board with.
Most of these roads out there.
I'll do it.
Let's say that.
No, I'm sitting here looking to see how, you know.
Let's leave.
I have a problem.
She's working on that commercial side.
Yeah, and I have an ATV and a
Got him on
UTV.
my own.
We need a job, we should take that.
Yeah, we need a lot of it too.
It's good. We've been doing it for how long?
Anything else for golf carts?
Right.
Guys, thanks for coming in and sharing your thoughts. Roger, that was some good information for us, so.
Thank you for letting us come in.
Appreciate it. Okay, moving on. Deer management. So Dan, St. Healthy reached out to me about, oh, what are y'all thinking about, next year doing deer management? And I just want you to consider a couple things. In the past, I don't think we really had cost-wise laid out that we understood kind of what we were getting and what we were paying for. So there's two pieces of that cost estimate. How much does it cost to do one hunt? Okay, we just given an amount, and I don't think we're really focused on that, 3 days, 4 days. So I stand to kind of give us a number to say, if we did 1 hunt, 2 hunts, 3 hunts, how do we budget for that? How do we, sign up for that? So he thought that a little bit under 5,000 a hunt. And if you look at last year, they did 3 hunts. They had they got 13,000 something spent of the 15,000 we budgeted. The rest of that money he was allocating to do a deer survey in October. So the other element is that cost per deer. And Danielle just do some stuff in here for us. If you remember, last year we asked Dan to give us a cost per deer to see just how's this thing looking for the past 4 or 5 years. So with those 2 pieces tonight, there's nothing we need to prove or move forward on other than he didn't plan on doing an October survey to get us feedback to see how the population is sitting right now for the deer. With that, we're gonna have to either say yay or nay, that we want to do it, and if we're gonna say yes, well, how many days do we want to sign up for the hunt? So,
Well, it sure seems like it's the 3rd day, we don't get nearly as many deer.
I remember correctly too, this last one, they didn't hunt through the night, it was.
That's what they did.
During like from 3 to 7 or something
Yeah.
like that.
so if you look at the cost of deer, you can see how that's ranging, last year was our highest cost per deer was our 15,000, but you can see, what's interesting is you can see the funding we've done as well. And keep in mind too, it looks like the POA, we're probably gonna back out of this, like they did last year. Unless we get some certain.
Thank you, Roger.
Thank you, Roger. I mean, we would like to get the board back, the POA back in on the sheriffs and also on this, so we'll see how it goes. So I just want to get you this information, so next meeting, you should have some survey information back. And then we can see how we want to move forward and what we want to tell Dan to do, plan for it. The thing that helps the cost a lot is the Lodge donates some rooms for these guys, so I'm sure they'll probably do the same thing. And keep in mind, they're very safe, they've got this figured out, and Dan will always say, you shouldn't do it. That's what he says,
Shouldn't do that.
shouldn't do the deer hunt. And he does that in a way where you gotta make sure you wanna do it, so he just challenged us to make sure you want to do it.
Yeah, because what happens if you don't do it, then over time, the things start getting bigger, Last night, Christine had 2 8-point bucks in the front yard. Yeah, right over our house.
That's exactly the point, and if you stop doing it, you know what's gonna happen. The POA is having a meeting here later on in the month with the Port Chima people on a deer hunt in Port Chima. And I don't remember, but I don't think they get a lot of deer in their deer hunts.
Aren't they like,
34 years were there.
bow
Oh,
and
when
arrow?
they have their private hunt, yeah, they're.
34, as I recall, Russell 20 years ago, which was before when we started.
Cause they just wait for the big one. Right,
Uh,
most of the hunters want the trophy one.
If I may speak openly, there's preferential treatment on who got his friends and family first, and then blah, blah, blah. So I don't think they worked as hard as they could have. Probably get 100 a year if they really worked that program. Columbia's got a wonderful program, and probably see to send a representative up there, talk to somebody that's doing theirs. They train the hunters. They allocate certain hunting spots, orientation for safety, yada, yada, yada. 15 grand, you can pay a lot of rednecks, $100 a piece, come in and take the year out here.
Yeah, there,
I certainly wouldn't do the survey every year. That seems to be, I remember back in the day, when we first started this, I got this started, back in the day. I was told that we had somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,500 a year on the peninsula, that we could kill whatever we wanted on an annual basis for 10 years. And that should have been the survey. I think they go out here and they try to find where the population is, so that they can put their feeder plots and have great success. But after 8 or 9 years, you don't know where they're at by now.
there is some advantage of having USDA, because they do have special privileges. But like at night,
Well, they get
you know,
stop light, they get feed.
yeah, they get paid for normal
Yeah.
public.
Does everything we can't do.
Exactly. Everything we can do. Okay, any other conversations on this? Okay. Thank you. Purpose of computer security. You are talking
I don't care. The current, this current security cameras are on a system that is, old. It can't keep up with running the cameras and doing the playback recording. And so he moved it off of what it was on onto a laptop, so he could work with them, and that system is the same situation, and so he suggested getting this. That would be strictly 4 cameras, it would do the recording, it would all, and you could go in and watch it straight from this. It's big enough, it's the same one we told you about, it's big enough to handle all of the cameras.
We're looking at about $800.
Because
Because I was gonna say, because if we have an accident out here and it's not recorded,
And it's not right now, I
Yeah.
can't play that.
we could.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We have a hard time to fight, right? When that
This could be pretty. easy.
2-year-old
We'll look
fell,
at a motion.
tried to go see where they hit, and I couldn't.
I'll make a motion to purchase a computer.
Second.
Okay, I'll favor.
Track.
Aye. Motion passed. Thank you, Dan, and we really need to pass a big thank you on to John. You've been.
He's hoping to get back out this week to get some of those other cameras, but the temperature keeps getting too hot. And when it was good, he was out of town, so.
That was one thing when we looked at the IT support, they didn't do, and we were like, how are we gonna do this? And yeah, very helpful, so.
It's,
On that system, are you gonna put all the cameras on it?
yes, that was the other thing I talked to Abe about today, is the application, you can either do an app on your phone or it could be web-based. So that way.
Right now, you have access to all the cameras,
Yep,
right now. I've got
Just those.
2 over here that I can still play back on.
yep, exactly.
There's yours right now. Okay, last time I tried, I just got back in here.
Yeah, you can't see it, you won't be able to. Yeah, and Abe and I were talking about the 2 on this side, trying to figure out why they didn't get integrated with the other ones when the
I have
last
no
guy
clue
did.
on that.
So I'll talk to Josh to make sure he knows about those as well. We'll make sure they're all
I
out
think
there.
they also.
And give you guys access.
It used to be all-
Yeah, I don't understand that part either. So we'll make sure they're all together and that you guys have access to them as well.
Next thing,
I'll get this ordered.
general discussion. Anything there? Please.
You guys have 50 months, we address the exterior of the buildings with the build, 89, you guys talked about that, that's the final letter from the Missouri State, fireworks bill, sign ordinance, tax lien sales, and operations, you all counties.
Question, on last month's meeting, I know it's in the minutes, you had mentioned something about, where it says in here, should know going forward, is that on your list of good things? Okay, I didn't know if we were, that was, I mean, we're, that's reading or something.
I've adjusted to, I actually have that in as well.
Okay, that's what I was.
Yeah, I was able to send all of the lodge operations, because they mow seasonally. And I think they can go there. What they can do. Obviously, we'll have to have a period of time. House.
I just thought that.
Yeah, that bill's ready to look at. It's like,
When I forgot to stop.
Daniel, anything else you'd like to? No. Okay, comments from visitors, any other? Yes, sir.
I just wanted to introduce Mr. Philip Tryon. He's one of your night shift guys that drive around that dude. He wanted to come in and meet you all. This is his day off, but he wants to come in and meet you all.
Tell your last name.
TRY.
Okay, got it.
As I was saying, he worked in our jail for several years before he decided to make the jump to the roadside. Then out here all summer. And stuff, and he's done a well job. So
Say the name again.
I'm sorry, sir.
Your name again?
Tryon, TRYON.
Then that's the last name? What's
First
the
name spell
Okay.
Philip.
it. Yeah, that's fine.
But I want to come in and meet you all. And
That's very nice. Did you tell him about Red Corvette? We're always glad to have you guys, and thanks for being out here each day. I mean, they think obviously we can do it, Danielle, I are here, let's know anything you need to help you.
But he won't see us.
Yeah, so
It's night shift.
you work at night, so you
Well,
know.
leave them out, we're just sticking on the door.
So they're gonna get here before he leaves.
All righty, next meeting, any other comments?
They shot, killed Charlie Kirk today.
I know.
Yes.
We may want to have law enforcement sit on the two end seats going forward. That would be a suggestion of mine.
Oh,
Just FYI, it's.
yeah, they kind of crazy a lot.
Yeah, we have to leave the door open. It's a public meeting. We can't have everybody signing in and recognize themselves. Anybody walking on the street.
Are you talking about sitting in the back end seats back there?
Well, just,
No door,
well, we can work with law enforcement, to make sure, but
where's a good spot?
I prefer, you guys can see who's coming.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting over here now, I used to sit closer there, and I'm thinking, oh my God.
I like to sit right here if you want.
That's fast.
I used to sit where Ron sat. Now,
I guess I'm a little out of the news. Who's Charlie Kirk?
he's the.
You don't know.
He's a 31-year-old conservative.
During the course of all the other spaces.
Got stuff and made it today pretty much.
Yeah, we did.
He went to volunteer assistant debate with the little kids.
But he wasn't a bad day.
No.
It's more education.
Right.
that Utah got shot right beside him.
Yeah.
He's got a, yeah, guy.
Oregon doing.
You go and watch the news.
I guess I-
Yeah, Captain's, I don't feel bad at staff till Sunday.
I haven't got that alert yet.
They
So
know.
I'm gonna have to have somebody help with that.
That's all.
I was just saying, that's.
I think what we're gonna do, this is pretty serious for us. I think let's just take a minute of silence here for him and his family.
And it's such a lovely.
Setting aside political positions. I mean, I got off, he was sharp, he never went to college.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, our next meeting is October 8th, and we do get the motion to go home.
Adjourned.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. That meeting is adjourned.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.